Alright guys, it's Noah here with Custom RC Mods. Welcome back to a new video. Now today's episode we have the second upgrade for the Traxxas Rustler. And so yeah, this is a little bit of an older model. It's from 2006, but we're going to be taking a huge leap into the 21st century by getting rid of the 27 megahertz radio and upgrading to the 2.4 gigahertz Spektrum STX2. So yeah, all the way up to I believe like 2012 or something, maybe even beyond that, the Traxxas Rustlers and all the other entry-level two-wheel drive vehicles shipped with this 27 megahertz system from Traxxas, and it's really not that bad. It has a nice weight in my hand, somewhat ergonomic, of course. Trigger feels good. It does, of course, have some spotty range to it, but the range is pretty long. I believe it's like a quarter mile or something like that. But the problem with that is that there's a lot of interference and breakup being on certain bands, so that meant that like radio waves and things like that were a big problem if they're going through the air. You just simply couldn't drive, so that's an issue today. Of course, it also has 8 AA batteries, which is a lot, and that is just a waste of power, in my opinion, to be using on a radio system. So we got the Spektrum STX2 right here. It's going to be a quality upgrade. I believe this is the king of the RCR non-computerized radios right here. It just feels super nice in my hand. It's nice and lightweight. However, everything's nice and well balanced. It has a lot of good features. It even has steering dual rate and a throttle limiter built in right here, as well as plenty of status LEDs and things like that. And of course, it also has that nice streamlined look that I've come to expect from Spektrum. So I am a little bit of a Spektrum fanboy. I have had a Spektrum DX2E, a few of those, and a Spektrum DX4C on my past cars. Of course, with all the airplanes you see behind me, I'm currently running a DX6 as my main radio and a DX6E as my other alternative radio. So those are really nice computer radios. However, I just don't feel like a computer radio is needed for a car. Unlike an airplane where you would want to go ahead and adjust your expo, adjust your rates and things like that to make sure that you can keep control of it when you're flying, a car really doesn't need that, because of course it's not going to make it that much of a different driving experience that it's going to totally crash itself. As well as just the price point of this radio right here with all the features you get. This is about 30 bucks. I got it used on eBay. It's just a really good deal. Came with a simple little receiver, $30. I mean, not that bad. My DX4C was like 120, so this is like about the quarter of the price. So I think I'm going to go for like the RTR more basic radios on these cars, so that I can go ahead and pass out the transmitters whenever I have friends over or anything like that, and we can all drive together rather than just having all my cars on one transmitter. That's a little bit of my philosophy. Sorry if that was a little bit of a rant. So yeah, I really like this radio. One nice thing about the Spektrum Surface radios that I've come to love is the extra travel on the wheel for more precise movements. So you'll see right here, I'm going to put my thumb on the top, or my finger on the top of the wheel, and you can see it goes from right there to right there. So there's not a lot of wheel movement back and forth. But let's go ahead and go over to the Spektrum. You can see it goes all the way over here and all the way over there, all the way over there. So there's a lot more travel. I feel like it's maybe like 10 degrees more travel in the steering wheel. And the steering wheel has a lot less resistance to it, and it just feels a little bit better with the spring inside it as well. Now another thing about this is that it has a nice trigger on here as well. It gives it a little bit more resistance on there, which is nice because then I don't automatically floor it. I have a lot more room to kind of get it proportional and tweak it right where I want it with my trigger finger. So that's nice as well. Of course, only running 4 AA's in here, so that's a really standard thing that's come to be known with the 2.4 gigahertz radio. Now this receiver is nothing special. SRX 200 receiver that came with it. It is a 3-channel receiver. Actually, it does have an auxiliary port, bind port, and then of course the steering and throttle ports. It is pre-bound to the radio right here, so we don't have to mess with the bind plug. But the installation is going to be pretty simple. I just have a piece of double-sided tape right here. The nice thing about this SRX 200 receiver is that it does have a waterproof coating on it, so I can run this without the waterproof receiver box, which is nice because I ironically don't even have one of those. That's how old this model is right here. It's not even waterproof. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my screw gun right here and just pop out these 2 screws just like that. And bam, our old system has been taken out. It's just 2 little screws. That's all it is. Nothing special to that. Now we're going to go ahead and take this piece right here. I can just peel off the double stick tape, and then I'm going to find it mounted the way I want it, just right in here, same little cavity. Alright guys, so now the system is installed and the vehicle is on, and as you can see, my steering is working flawlessly. It's actually reversed, so all I have to do is just hit the reverse switch right there, and now everything is nice and proper, and we can go ahead and trim it out. So now the wheels are even as well, and as you can see, the steering is great, of course, because this Rustler is working with a burnout motor. Obviously we can't test the throttle, but it is completely functional. You can hear the motor chirping right there, trying to get this thing moving, and it is a little bit understated how much of a pro, at least to me, not having a waterproof receiver box is, because that's going to make it so nice so that I can get to my wires, make changes, and add little things without having to undo those 4 screws just to get in there. So yeah, having that waterproof coating is going to be a real nice thing, and just having this radio in general is going to be such a big upgrade over the 27 megahertz system. So that's it for the upgrade today. The STX2 from Spektrum. I'll give you guys my full review on this after I get it tested and used a lot more, but I'm really excited for this thing and what it's going to do with this Traxxas Rustler. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And obviously, if you have any video requests or questions about this radio right here, go ahead and comment those down below. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions or ideas. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.